All right, Frank, we're back for number 5. And this is the biggest one of all. Stallone in Cliffhanger. Now, I'm going to start out with your tweet about this because this is, I think, the whole entry into this video. And that is Cliffhanger, my first theatrical experience. I started out with a bang. So, Cliffhanger came out in 1993, directed by Renny Harlin, starring Sylvester Stallone, John Lithgow, Michael Rooker, Janine Turner, Rex Linn, Carolyn Goodall, Leon, and many more. Also starring the illustrious Paul Winfield, who I am a big fan of, Star Trek II Wrath of Khan, Terminator, many more. Paul Winfield's a cool dude. Definitely check him out in any movie that he's in. Cliffhanger centers around a group of criminals who attempt to steal 3 cases of uncirculated treasury bills from a plane. So they're trying to do this. They're trying to do this mid-plane. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds a lot like The Dark Knight Rises. And it totally is. It's 100% The Dark Knight Rises. Like, it was crazy watching this movie, and I was just like, wow, I thought a mid-air heist, I thought that was such an original idea. And then I'm seeing it on Cliffhanger, and I'm like, oh, Christopher Nolan must have just stolen this from Cliffhanger. But anyway, so they do this mid-air heist, but it goes wrong. So these cases end up falling down into the forest, and the plane that the criminals are on, the treasury plane ends up going down, but also the plane that the criminals are on ends up going down.
Key it. Look at the map. This is where we've lost our belongings. The red dots on the monitor are the 3 cases. You recognize these locations? Let me jar your memory. If you don't recognize them, you're useless. Useless items are usually discarded.
The rest of the movie is basically just this big, like, showdown to see if Stallone can outwit and outlast these criminals. In, I think, what's supposed to be Yosemite in the middle of winter. So there you go. That's the basic gist of this film. Okay. So, did I like it? This is probably gonna hurt a little bit. I say sorry in advance. Did I like it? Not really. I honestly, like, I found Cliffhanger to be, like, really convoluted. I don't understand why like everything that happens in everything that happens in this movie seems to happen because it's the most death-defying way that it can happen. Like, why do a heist midair? You know, why go to all that trouble? Why isn't there some point when they're on the ground that, you know, you could take the money? Why, you know, some of the stuff that Stallone does, like, does not make sense to me. You know, the fact that he's able to survive in freezing temperatures with basically, like, a wife beater and a pair of jeans on for, like, part of the film is also ridiculous. There's so much in this movie that just, like, completely defies logic. But here's the thing. Here's the reason why, in the end, I did not completely hate this film. I actually did, while I don't love it, I did like it. Renny Harlin, God bless his soul, he's trying. He creates these amazing action sequences that literally had me, like, scraping the side of my chair, just digging my fingers into the sides of my chair because I was so on edge, right? Even just the first scene, which I don't want to spoil, but at the same time, like, it's it's the first thing you see, and it's like it sets up everything else, you know, between Stallone and Rooker. That sequence is so nail biting and just like unbelievably tense, and that's the first thing in the film. That's the first thing. And there's multiple sequences sprinkled throughout the film that are just as tense as that. And I think that is what got me through the whole thing, was these little like sort of action sequences that Renny Harlin created that keep you on the edge of your seat. The rest of the film is whatever, and like I said, the plot feels really convoluted and kind of dumb. Stallone kind of feels like he's phoning it in, you know. I mean, he's maybe he's trying. Maybe it's like this is because this is like pre-Copland, obviously. So it's like maybe he's trying to give the dramatic performance, you know, that he wants to give, that he ultimately ends up giving in Copland. Lithgow is really interesting as the villain. He does this like he does this accent, which kind of like is kind of weird at first, but then you do kind of like feel like he's, you know, he kind of puts you in a different frame of mind, the way that you see his character, which was kind of interesting. I would say that Cliffhanger was an interesting watch, but I don't know if I would recommend it to anybody, and I don't know whether I would watch it again. So I feel really bad about saying that, because I know like you kind of made a big deal about this, you know. It's like it's like the first movie that you ever saw in a theater, and it's like it's obviously something really close to your heart, and I kind of feel bad for like talking bad about it, but I hope you know that like I don't hate it. I'm just not like a huge fan of it, I guess is what I should say. Like, I guess I enjoyed watching it for the most part, but like I don't care about ever seeing it again. So, I love you, man. So that's it. That's my quick review of Cliffhanger. The next video is going to be the wrestling documentary Beyond the Mat. And Frank, and whoever else is watching this, see you next time. Always remember to clap.